Today, we're diving into a poem that is so beautiful and so controversial that people have been debating what it really means for 800 years. It's called The Wine Song, and believe it or not, it was written by a revered Muslim saint. The poem kicks off with this completely mind-bending line: "To the beloved we drank a wine, ere the vineyard was created." Just let that sink in for a second. How can you drink a wine before the vineyard, the very thing needed to make it, even exists? It's a stunning paradox, and right away it presents a massive puzzle.
And that really is the heart of it, isn't it? The author, Ibn al-Farid, was one of the most respected Sufi mystics of his day. So why would he write his most famous poem celebrating something that's forbidden in Islam? What exactly is going on here?
To figure this out, we need to go right to the source. We need to look at the poet himself and this beautiful, forbidden song he created.
A huge key for us is this 1922 translation that really opened up this 13th century masterpiece to the English-speaking world. It's the work of Sheikh Umar ibn al-Farid, a Sufi saint from Cairo. And this poem, well, it's his most famous and by far his most controversial legacy.
So the poem belongs to a genre called kamriya, which literally means wine song. And that's where the trouble starts. Because again, drinking wine is a sin in Islam. So you've got this saint writing what seems to be a glorious celebration of sin. He's clearly trying to be provocative. But why?
All right, this brings us to the big reveal. It's time to crack the code behind all this talk of wine, taverns, and intoxication. And here it is, the crucial point. This poem has nothing to do with actual physical wine. Not at all. It's a breathtaking allegory for divine love, for the soul's connection to God. Every single element that seems forbidden is actually a symbol for something deeply spiritual. This is basically the decoder ring for the whole poem. You see, the wine isn't alcohol. It's the love and knowledge of God. Intoxication isn't being drunk. It's spiritual ecstasy. Even the cup, the tavern, the sun, the moon, they all have these incredible hidden meanings that transform the poem from a drinking song into a map for mystical union.
Let's see how this works in the very next verse. The full moon is for ist a cup, and itself is a sun. Now the translator explains that the full moon represents the prophet, the perfect vessel holding this divine love. And the wine itself, it's the sun, the source of all light, all life. All of a sudden, a simple line becomes unbelievably profound. The entire poem works like this.
Okay, so once you understand that the wine is divine love, the next part of the poem makes so much more sense. It's all about the miraculous, world-changing power of this spiritual drink. Its power is so immense that just mentioning its name is enough to put people into a state of ecstasy. And check out that last line, without incurring shame or sin. The poet keeps reminding us, hey, we're not talking about anything physical here, this is purely spiritual. And from this point, the poem just builds and builds, listing these incredible miracles. He says that if a sick person, one who had totally given up on life, were to just be near the tavern, the sickness would just leave them, and if a paralyzed person were brought close, they'd get up and start walking. You see, this divine love has the power to overcome physical limits.
But it gets even deeper. Someone who is mute would start to speak, not from drinking it, but just from the thought of its flavor. Now we're beyond the physical entirely. We're in the realm of pure consciousness.
And then comes the ultimate miracle. If you were to sprinkle just a drop of this wine on a grave, the dead would rise. The translator even points out this is a reference to the story of Lazarus. This love doesn't just heal, it has the power to conquer death itself. So, after showing us just how powerful this divine love is, the poet shifts to its origin, which is, if you can believe it, even more mind-blowing. This force isn't just powerful, it's eternal.
Remember that very first line, ere the vineyard was created? Well, he comes back to it, making it crystal clear. This love existed before time, before the universe, before anything had shape or form. It's the primordial essence of reality itself.
And you know, this cosmic, eternal thing isn't some cold, distant idea. The poet brings it right down to his own life. He says he felt its exhilaration when he was just a child, and he knows that feeling will stay with him long after his bones decay. It's both timeless and deeply, deeply personal. So, what do we take away from this nearly 800-year-old poem? Why does it still fascinate scholars, mystics, and readers like us today?
Well, when you boil it all down, the poem is a universal map of the soul's journey. It's using the language we all understand, love, longing, intoxication, to describe that very human search for connection with something bigger than ourselves.
And that right there is its true genius. I mean, how do you even begin to describe the divine? How do you put into words a feeling of pure spiritual ecstasy? Ibn Farid's answer is, you can't. Not directly. You have to use metaphor. You have to take the most powerful images from our world, even the forbidden ones, to point to a reality that's beyond words.
Which really leaves us with one final question. In a world that can feel so literal, so black and white, what can a poem like this teach us about looking past the surface to find a deeper, shared truth? I'll leave you with the poem's final, haunting verse. It's both a warning and an invitation. A call, really, to seek out that timeless wine for ourselves, and to make absolutely sure our lives have a share in it.